Welcome to the latest installment of the Run to Daylight podcast show. I am your host, Todd Burrows, and I am doing a live Best Ball Mania draft. From the 111, I took Garrett Wilson at 111. I don't have a ton of Garrett Wilson. But first, even though I'm doing an Underdog Best Ball Mania, I want to talk about my friends over at the FFPC. I did the hard way 350 draft. I probably will do an episode coming up where I review all the picks for that season-long draft that I did against some of the best guys in the industry. In fact, you know what? We'll look at that while we are drafting. So I just took Jonathan Taylor to go with Garrett Wilson. I have not been taking much Jonathan Taylor lately because of the opportunity cost at wide receiver, but I wanted, I don't think I have that combination, and I don't think it makes sense to fade a guy like Jonathan Taylor completely. So I took him and Garrett Wilson, and we'll see where we come back. But to join drafts at the FFPC, you can go to myffpc.com. That's myffpc.com. I will go through that draft that I did in between picks. Being in the 11th spot, we should have plenty of time to do that. And let me share my screen. And we'll share the entire screen. So let me close some things that I don't need. And let's get over to that hard way draft. A lot of really good players in that draft. And where are we? Run to hard way. There we go. So we'll get that draft board up. But first, I am going to go over and fill my queue. I'm 13 picks away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will not be taking Derrick Henry or Michael Pittman. Cooper Kupp. Josh Allen with Garrett Wilson is not the worst thing. I'm not been taking a lot of flowers. You can see the overlay that I use from Spike Week. And down here, it shows that I only have 3% saved flowers, which I am okay with. I do like Travis Etienne. I'll consider him for the second pick. Pickens, Amari Cooper. I probably want to get 2 wide receivers there, but we will see. So we're 9 picks away. So Abib, it was in the 1 hole. Abib came out shooting with Breece Hall. Abib won back-to-back 350 tournaments. Dan Williamson and Bradley Stalder were in the 2 spot. Theo Greminger, 2 out of 3, because he's won the league 2 out of 3 times. Me, Run to Hardway. John Daigle, Go Bills, back-to-back champions in the main event. The deep end guys, Adam Krautwurst and Mike Schopp. Austin Martin, of a huge dynasty and season-long guy. Noah Rudell, one of the smartest guys. Good old fantasy mojo, Davis Maddock, and Dave Hubbard, who, if you're a big high-stakes guy, you know who Dave Hubbard is. So the hard-way draft is one of those drafts that every year it kind of sets where the ADP should be. Because there are so many smart guys and we know we're not going to be able to wait for our players, you really need to go get them. So my plan, in a smart room, FFPC is tight end premium. So I like getting a good tight end, and I like getting that out of the way, because in a draft like this where ADP is very fluid, you don't want to get caught. So my goal was to take Bijan over Tyreek or Jamar Chase, because he has legendary upside, Bijan, I feel. I wanted to get a tight end. I had a feeling I'd have to take Andrews there, and I did. And then I came back with a wide receiver, and we'll talk about that. I am 2 picks away. Josh Allen makes a lot of sense if he makes it. I don't want Pittman with Jonathan Taylor. I don't think that is something that makes a ton of sense. Up next, all right, Josh Allen made it. That's a pretty easy pick. And then I will come back with my second wide receiver. I'll put T. Higgins in the queue as well. There's nobody. So with the spike week stuff, you can see that there is a week 17 correlation with Josh Allen already and Garrett Wilson. No correlations yet. Blue is a correlation with a quarterback. Green is a correlation for the quarterback. And blue, when I stack him, Josh Allen will turn blue. So we're 2 picks away there. I will not get Dalton Kincaid coming back, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not getting Dalton Kincaid. Although, I mean, he does look like the number 1 receiver option. But Josh Allen saw a stat that he ran a lot more once Ken Dorsey was gone. So we've seen just the floor and the ceiling. Boy, Kincaid is very tempting here. I'm going to take the shot. I'm going to take Kincaid a little early. You see Josh Allen turn blue, Kincaid turned blue. And now I'm definitely looking at wide receiver next time. I normally don't like to reach like that, but occasionally it makes sense. And the main reason was I don't love Amari, Higgins, Pickens, or Dell enough to pass on the correlation. So 20 picks away. I'm not going to take James Cook. I'm not going to take Stroud or Richardson. Hollywood, Jaden Reed. I'm not going to take another running back. Really not going to take Worthy or Pitts. So I might end up with Odunze, Godwin, Keon Coleman you can see is there. Let's see who makes it back, though. All right, so let's go back to the Hardway draft. And so on the clock in the 3rd round, I had planned on taking a wide receiver, and I was looking at Ayuk, and I was looking at Waddle, and I was looking at Mike Evans, who lasted a long time. But I decided to go for Malik Neighbors. It kind of jumped out at me when I was on the clock. I loved Malik Neighbors' tape. And, you know, I only am going to do 2 or 3 season-long leagues, and I just felt like go get your guy. On the way back, I was listening to Theo on the radio, and he kind of wanted Flowers. He said he had 2 wide receivers. Metcalf was a big part of why he beat me in the semifinals last year. And to me, he was clearly the best choice here. So now I'm at 1-2. So the plan was, after going running back tight end, was to really hit wide receiver hard. But I came back with Anthony Richardson. Theo thought he sniped me a little bit on Mark Andrews, but Richardson was always going to be my guy. The thought process being that I'm not only trying to win this league, but I'm trying to win $350,000. So I'm willing to take a chance on just the amazing upside we saw with Anthony Richardson last year. I came back with a guy that I normally don't draft, Deontay Johnson, but this year, the way that Adam Thielen was just peppered. So I felt like Neighbors would have a good floor every week. DK's a big ceiling guy. Deontay, I feel like, is a great floor guy in PPR. And I think he might have a ceiling this year, too. But then I reached a bit for Christian Watson. Again, going for that explosive upside over Odunze or Lad McConkey or Hopkins. Not a big Lad McConkey guy. So now I'm at 1, so I've executed my strategy. And the guy I wanted to come back was Jaylen Warren as my number 2, and I got him. So I was going to hit running back really hard continually. All right, let's look at who's here. I mean, it's not a great spot for wide receiver. I'm starting to see why um, Hayden Winks was talking about this section, but I still think there's value here. I am not a big Jaden Reed guy, and I would only take him if I was going Jordan Love, but I don't want Jordan Love with Josh McDaniels. So we will go with Calvin Ridley, who gets that week 16 correlation. So you see how I build in correlations as I go, use it as a tiebreaker. I'm up in a couple picks. I am not going to take Keon Coleman here. Definitely like Godwin more. I definitely, I'm just not a big Keon Coleman guy, and I don't think you need to early. You can always get a second stack with Josh Allen later. I would definitely consider some explosive upside with Brian Thomas here because, and there he goes. Oh, that was annoying. That was really annoying. I hope this dude ain't watching me. And Godwin went too. So both of the guys I really wanted went. Now it's either Jaden Reed or do the Coleman. I'm going to go with DeAndre Hopkins. No, I'm not, because I already have Ridley. This is a tough one. All right, let's go with I went with Jaden Reed. I don't love it, but that's a big knock. This wide receiver room is definitely behind and not in a great way. But let's see what we get coming back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Probably should have went with Keon Coleman. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, Watson 17. Not going to take Rashi Rice in this room. I really do like Ramondre and Zamir White and Jamison Williams, and that's the end of the tier. So it's tough. I'd like to get to 5 wide receivers here. I do have more than most people wide receivers I like later, but you see how that Jonathan Taylor pick can come back, how quickly taking an early running back can come back to bite you. But Josh Allen was the best guy on the board. He gave me the correlation, then the stack, and now you're chasing wide receivers. So you can see how quickly it can happen. This might be a 9 or 10 wide receiver team. I'm not going to take less wide receivers if there's running backs I like. All right, so Dallas Goedert is a guy that I really like. The fact that TJ Hawkinson and Pat Freiermuth went ahead of Dallas Goedert, this was a pure value pick. He backs up Andrews in case he gets hurt. Now my flex is either Goddard or Watson. Gives me 2 good options. And then it's pound running back. Ray Davis I took way early. Don't mind. I know the Theo liked him. Gus Edwards, early season. Rico Dowdle, Tyrone Tracy, and Dante Foreman. Mixed in 2 upside rookie wide receivers I really like. Backup quarterback, defense, kicker, and Greg Dulcich. So that was the team. I like it, right? Because this isn't a best ball. So every week I can start, Neighbors, Metcalf, and Deontay. And that's 3, one of my flexes. Then I've got Watson or Goddard. And I've got a lot of choices to go with Bijan as my number 2. High upside tight end, high upside quarterback. I was really happy with this team. Let's see. Anthony. All right. Finally caught alive. Going to listen while I cut the lawn. Awesome, buddy. Thank you for joining. If you guys have any questions, jump in. I don't mind that. I'll check back in. I was doing 2 things at once, but there's plenty of room if you guys have any questions. And I kind of went through that board a little fast. But you can just see there's like what we can do is right. So Abib, he went double running back, then he hit three wide receivers, a third running back. So I don't love what he did here because I'm not big on Hawkinson off those major knee injuries, Musgrave, and I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 running backs. I know getting it early, then he has to take three quarterbacks. I'm not a fan of what Abib did. Now, he might be smarter than me, but all right. So we're going to take Jamison Williams because there is a tier break. Get my fourth wide receiver. I do like Jalen Warren. I do like Ramondre. I'm not going to take a quarterback here. I could take Cortland Sutton, and I could take Curtis Samuel. It's a little early for Samuel. But that'll give me my fifth wide receiver. It'll give me my double stack. I really like Ramondre. And then I get a week 16. I get a week 16 correlation covered now with New England and Josh Allen. I have been backing off of Ramondre because I've been going so heavy wide receiver early. But I think that just made this team better. 18 picks away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm not taking a tight end. I'm not taking one of these two. 15. Benson 16. Javonte 17. Mike Williams 18. Shakir is in there. Rashid Shaheed is a guy I like. Tajay Spears is a guy I like. So I've got plenty of names for the next pick, and this is really early. I'm you notice that I'm not sticking to ADP. A lot of how I'm building this year is based on the build that I'm looking for, and based on the. So again, you could really kick me for starting with Jonathan Taylor, missing out on that second top wide receiver. Let's look at the board. So I passed on Drake London, but I just feel like there's a value pit a little bit here too. So you can get a lot of these guys later that are just as good. Anyway, I don't regret it, but it did put me behind the 8 ball. And I'd be lying if I didn't say it did. All right, let's go over Dan Williamson's team. McCaffrey, Adams, love it. Henry, I like Henry. I don't think I would have gone second running back yet. Hurts, unstacked. See, I'm not big on Josh Jacobs. So now he's got 3 running backs, and then they pound wide receivers. But they did it well. Ridley, I'm not a worthy guy. Jameson, this is more of a best ball build to me. I think they're going to have trouble picking who they're going to start week to week. Love Dontavian Wicks. And they're weak at tight end. So overall, not a huge fan of this one either. And again, deep respect for everybody in this league. But I, just giving my honest thoughts. We're 7 picks away. All right, Theo's team. Theo is just a savant. Lamb, Barkley, good value. Achane, again, more of a best ball guy to me, and I'm not Flowers and Jackson, but then he got Bowers, so he's got his tight end, pounded wide receiver for a while, pounded running back, and then came back with some young upside wide receivers, a good second quarterback. This is a good team. I mean, I like my team better, but Theo's won twice and I haven't. So we all know it's not a best ball, but, it's a good team. All right, John Daigle. I know John was complaining about some of his options in the middle, but he did start with 2 good wide receivers. And this is what happens when you go double tight end. You can fall behind. All right, I'm going to take Shaheed. That gives me my 5th wide receiver. I can go Tajay. I probably won't go Mike Williams here. because I've got Garrett Wilson. I guess I could, but you don't really want two quarterbacks from the same Week 17 game. Jacoby Myers has I'm on the clock and Tajay made it. So and so did Pollard. Oh boy. I push comes to 97. Fuck. I'm gonna go with Pollard. I got it. 13. I like Spears more, and I think he might be better than Pollard at this point. But the board tells you that's not the case. So to get the guy 13 picks past ADP, that's when you want to build. And I'll get plenty of Tajay Spears. He's gone. Let's see. He went right after me, but you can see I got plenty. 22% Tajay. So I think Pollard was the right choice. 1-3-5-1 build. Got an early tight end, so I'll probably just be 2 and a later one. We have to start thinking about second quarterback now. And we want to get more wide receivers and running backs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not a quorum guy, 10. Goff is fine with Jameson, 11. Not a Judy guy, but I'll take him, 12. Josh Downs, I do like, 13. Dotson's fine. Ford is fine. Not a big Gabe Davis guy, but I do have a correlation with him, so he's in the mix. Down a little further, I do like Kendra Miller. All right. So we got plenty of guys. I got 3 good running backs. This is going to be a 5 running back team. A lot more guys, smart guys, are going 6 this year, but this is a team that is going to need some extra wide receivers. I describe it as a Mad Sox. All right, let's see what you have to say. Before I do that, though, I drafted a 2 QB same game Week 17 lineup. It's a game stack, and I think it's more viable with building. Yeah, I have no problem with it. It's not, I'm just not gonna plan it. I like taking 2 guys on the same bye week because it automatically makes you unique if you advance. And it's still good. Yeah, I don't hate it. I know the really smart guys do. I'm not morally opposed to it. That sucks. All right, so back to. So you see how drafting is like a seesaw, right? Positionally. If you've got more weight with early picks on one side, the other position of wide receiver is going to get more numbers. So I am still a pretty big 5 running back guy. I know a lot of the cool kids aren't. They're at the 6th running back. If you get it right, it supercharges your advance rate. If you get it wrong, it super uncharges it. Not really a good word, but let me try and make this a little bigger so you guys can see more. All right. So I don't mind Goff, but what I'll do is quickly. So Will Levis, I can add late. I can add Rodgers late. I can add Drake May, even though it's Ramondre. But I could add Drake May late and add a Javon Baker, who I like. So I have no urgency to take Jared Goff here. His buy is 10. Josh Allen's is 12. The problem is there's nobody I super love here. I like Kendra Miller. Mike Williams just went. If he had made it back, I would have taken him. I'm going to go Gabe Davis. I don't have much. Only have 3%, but this is the kind of when you do it, right? When you have the correlation of Jacksonville with Tennessee. You get that mini correlation. You get a little ownership on a guy that you don't love in case you're right. You keep yourself positionally the way you want it. And I like Marshawn Lloyd and I like Kendra Miller. I can, if Kendra Miller is gone, though, I might just take Goff. But there, Kendra Miller, now I've got another week 16 correlation with Green Bay. I get a guy that I like. Now I've got 4 running backs. Running back really, to me, falls off after kind of like Jaleel McLaughlin. So my next time through, I can get my 5th. And again, I'm throwing numbers at wide receiver. All right, so Tua, I don't love, but 1, 2, 3. I don't love Herbert, but you can get him late. I've got New England 4, 5, 6, 7. I have nothing with Cousins. I'm going to leave him off. Lloyd 8. Komet. I'll put in Quentin Johnson. I normally don't draft. Jalen Polk would help with the Chandler, Burton, Jalen Wright, Roman Wilson. Coming around on Thielen. Like, what if he's not done? I like Antonio Gibson. I like Ray Davis. I actually don't mind that here. I don't mind with the quarterback, the backup guy. Ray Davis is a really good pass catcher. All right. So, any questions, throw them in. We're 13 picks away. Let's go back to this draft board. John, 2. You go double tight end. And Kittle, again, I like him better for best ball. You're going to have a lot of bad weeks. And when you already have Kyle Pitts, I think that's not for me. And then a quarterback that's not stacked. And then, you're going to chase running back. I see why he wasn't thrilled with his team. Go Bills. All right. So Chase, Kincaid, and Josh Allen, Ayuk, good value. McLaurin, this is a good team. Odunze, good young wide receivers. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a little weak at running back. But I overall, I like the build. I probably wouldn't have taken Romeo Doubs. I would have taken either, maybe not Chubb, but McLaughlin. That's the only thing. But again, they won the main event twice, and I haven't. But that's my thoughts there. The deep end, 9 picks away. Jefferson fell to 7. Gotta love that. McBride, Waddle, Cup, and then come back and hit Mixon and Jones. Murray, Benson to go. No, Connor. Lockett and Williams. See, I like Lockett pick. I don't like the Williams pick. You've got 3 running backs. Running back is really thinning out. I would have definitely taken Kendre Miller here if I was them. Other than that, this is a pretty good team. All right. Austin, I bet I'm going to love this build. So Amon-Ra, Taylor and Etienne, then just pounding wide receiver, got his quarterback, Spears, Brian Robinson. He punted tight end, but he got a pretty good one, and he got 3 others. This is a good build. So, Austin almost never lets you down. This is a very, it's tough to punt tight end, but if you're this is the way to do it. 7, was there anyone? I'm not a big Lad McConkey guy, but he got 2 good wide receivers here when he already had 3. Maybe, I'm glad he didn't take Goddard, but I might have taken Goddard. That's a minor nitpick. Other than that, really good team. All right, 3 picks away. So not much at wide receiver. I do like Troy Franklin. I like Jaleel. So pick 136, Hawkinson. So now Hawkinson is starting to get interesting. 146. Yeah, I'm going to take Hawkinson. He's got a correlation. I don't need him, but I get him 20 picks past ADP. That threw off what I was going to do here, but I'll come back with my fifth. I'll come back with my fifth running back. I like Antonio, and that's oh yeah. Now I have both New England guys on a best ball. That's not bad. It's a little weird, but okay. I probably could have gone Ray Davis there. Maybe that was a mistake. But doing a podcast, checking this, doing that, that might not have been my best move. All right. Free look with those wide receivers. What do you talk? Don't love Dubs either, but that's kind of build he fits. Okay, fair. Thanks, Nick. Thanks for jumping in. Mad Sox, all things being even, would you go for a dart last round tight end or running back? I see. There's a lot of late tight ends that I like, Mad Sox. So. Let me set up my next pick. 1, 2, 3. In fact, I'm taking tight end out now. I got 2. I'm done. I'm really done at running back too. All right, so Mondale, Wilson, Luke McCaffrey, Gino, Will Levis, Javon Baker. All right, so, but let's look at tight ends. So late, right? I like Jelani Woods. I like Jatavian Sanders. I like Jonnu. I like Likely in certain bills. I like Conklin, Tucker Kraft. I like Dulcich. Theo Johnson is worth a shot. So the Rams guys with Higbee out are worth a shot. I think it depends on the build, but I struggle to find guys that I like in this range. I know there's some smart people who are drafting this way, taking the Will Shipleys. But for me, once I like Dante Foreman, I like Roschon, Tyrone Tracy. Been taking a lot of Elijah Mitchell. But running back is thinner for me late. So that's the answer to that question. Hey, Henry, long time no speak. I won't mute OU. Got to get a pun in. It's Todd from PA. Have you guys noticed that since I changed to Best Ball NFL, I'm not punning as much? I think maybe that's a Todd from PA thing. All right, 2 picks away. I know who I want. I know who I really, really want. Tell me who you want, who you really, really want. I mean, you can tell. I've got 32% Javon Baker. Love Javon Baker. All right. So now I feel better about wide receiver. 1572. I got to get my quarterbacks back. Fuck. I missed out on Rodgers. If Rodgers makes it back, this guy's already got 2 quarterbacks. I mean, to get Rodgers this late, I will. Oh, man, I screwed up. I would have totally taken Rodgers. But I like Javon a lot, so I'm not going to kick. But I was going to do Drake May, but with both Levis and Aaron Rodgers, and they're both I've got stacked up. I mean, if I get Rodgers at 157, 25 picks after ADP, I mean, this is a no-brainer. And it would be shocking if Grand Flex Alex with Hurts and Murray takes Aaron Rodgers, but he's running out of time. Okay, good. All right, so I got Aaron Rodgers. So that's insane. right? So now I've got a 25 pick value. I've got both quarterbacks. If this game blows up, I've got two shots at the top prize. No, it's not what a lot of people would recommend, but when you get a 25 pick value and you're able to stack your first round pick, no brainer. No brainer. All right, so I'm done at everything except wide receiver. I guess I could consider running back still. Tyrone Tracy, I would consider. Foreman, I would consider. Tez Walker. I am not going to take Elijah Mitchell. I'll throw in there. Tyler Boyd, Jalen McMillan, Slayton. Kind of coming around on Khalif Raymond. Jalen Hyatt, some nice upside. A.T. Perry, I like. Malik Washington, I kind of like. And, I never got my second. I know a lot of people are like mocking Chase Claypool, but I mean, the dude's talented. I won't take much, but with all these correlations, if he's still around at the end, maybe. So this is going to be a 2.592. Kincaid's going to have to hold up while Hawkinson comes back, but that's some nice late upside. I don't love my wide receivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I've got, some home run hitters and Shaheed and Davis and Jamison Williams. Jaden Reed, I need to step up on a week-to-week basis. It's definitely the weakness of the team, but the rest of the team is really pretty strong. Hey, Anthony Rogers with a bow on top. Yep. I appreciate the comment, Anthony. How's the lawn? I am so excited that you guys have all joined and that I decided to actually do this. When I get out of the habit of doing podcasts, it's hard for me to get started again. You guys jumping in with the comments definitely helps. So I'm definitely not taking a running back, even if one falls. I don't think. Oh boy, there's a good one coming. I mean, there's still some good ones. It's not ideal, but I'm trying to win the flex, and you would think that I have enough wide receivers. I'm definitely taking one wide receiver, but it is going to be really hard to pass on Tyrone Tracy or Donta Foreman or even Elijah Mitchell. I mean, Elijah Mitchell could win you the whole ball of wax. I really don't love any of I'm going to take A.T. Perry. And then if one of the running backs makes it back, A.T. Perry, I think, has some nice upside. I get a week 16 stack. I could, might just need some steadiness. So Tyrone Tracy made it back, or Slayton, or 185. I'm at 205. YOLO. Let's go with Tyrone Tracy. I really didn't need another running back, but he's got that week 17 with Taylor. That's the team, guys. Josh Allen and Rodgers, Taylor. Yeah, you guys see it. Well, thanks for joining. And that's it for this time. And I will see you guys soon.